I think it's good to go. Hey, Trish, what's up, baby? The real Brenda. Cheesecake. What's going on, girl? Share hello. Got a little bit of an echo, I think. Oh, no, we're
You
good.
have an echo?
Nope, we're good now.
All right.
Cheesecake. Miss you. Nicolina.
Hey,
7
hey.
Rhonda the winner. CP. How is everybody doing? Miss Amy. Sheila E. Thank you all for joining us. Hey, Heaven Ramsey. So this afternoon, you're gonna have to bear with me because I have been just running ragged. Hey, Miss Ziggy, I have just been running ragged, and I'm trying to get rest because this monster is gonna be joining me on Wednesday full time.
Monster. It's the cutest dog I've ever seen.
This little monster right here. She will be a full-time part of the household come Wednesday. So we have just been trying to puppy proof the house, but the folks decided they wanted to go on vacation this weekend. So I've been doing some puppy proofing and had a pretty busy day at work yesterday. So anyhow, enough about that. She is gonna be the queen of this house. I'll tell you that right now. I told my mom, I said,
What about my dukes?
yeah. I told her, Mom, you ain't gonna be the one no more. It's gonna be her.
Well, can't she just be a princess?
She is a princess.
So is Dawn going to be the princess and Gloria is going to be the queen?
Yep. The queen and the princess. You got it. Hey, Cole Rain, good to see you. Good to see you, Bubblegum Truth. Thank you, everybody for joining us. So gonna just kind of cut right to the chase. There's been a lot of stuff transpiring that I think that, well, White Boy Radio, he's been releasing some info, and this info is when you apply it to what you know about the Wells situation, it's difficult to digest, to say the least. And for anyone that doesn't know, Matt and myself, we've made amends to one another, spoken with him on the phone, we've texted. So I've asked permission to use some of the media that he's put together in the past couple of days. So I've got a bunch of tabs here, and that's why I'm just a little bit late. I was trying to go through, hey, Allison, trying to go through and kind of get it, where I thought it was all going to fit, but then it was like, yeah, it is. Oh, girl, this face. So I'm trying to get it where it all clicks and flows, but I think that it's going to be a little bit of jumping around because I don't take notes because in the past I've tried to take notes on how I want everything to go, and it just never works that way. So I find that I do better.
You do so much better when you just wing it, but I do too.
Yes.
Like, yeah, everything's just like freely on the live, just doing as you go along. Like, I think it goes so much better. I could never schedule a live.
No, I tried. Hey, West Virginia.
Like, write a script, you'll never follow it.
Thank you, Miss West Virginia. Could somebody put my email in the discussion area?
Yeah.
West Virginia, please email me, and I'd like to chop it up with you just a little bit, if you could, at your convenience, quite naturally. Casey K, she's always doing her thing, you know that. Let's see here. No, Tessie, I'm gonna go ahead and answer that just because I see it. Tessie, Fred is not Ziggy's Fred. Fred is Dee Dee's husband. Fred is the surviving husband of Dee Dee. Dee Dee was a moderator. Bless her heart. She's passed. She was a moderator for Matt at White Boy Lockdown Radio. Dee Dee was also good friends with Noel, and subsequently best friends with Candace, allegedly. And we'll get to that part But no, I just wanted to dispel. Hey, Queen Ashley, good to see you, honey. Wanted to dispel any of that because your question, it's a good question. It's a valid question. Hey, Miss Lila. So getting that out of the way, let's just kind of cut to the chase. What I think is important about what you're going to see this afternoon is that there's a lot of stuff floating around. And again, you have to apply it to what you know, right? What you know about Summer's situation. Maybe this will change opinions. Maybe it will form new ones. Yeah, I don't know what it's going to do for you individually, but there is a lot of things. Hello, fur babies. So, hey, Karen Renfro, much respect. Can we just dispel something really quick too?
I was like, nah, no way.
Karen, let's just dispel this if we can. So there's some chatter going around that Don potentially has a new girlfriend and her name is Karen. And that I would like to dispel whether or not that it's our Karen Renfro or another different Karen. It's really, it doesn't really matter in the scheme of it. Dispel.
And Karen, if it's you, we won't judge you.
No, we won't judge
never.
you. I just want to know, is it our Karen Renfro or is it a different Karen? I'm
gonna bet on it's not Karen Renfro.
He said no.
I love her anyway.
Thank you for dispelling. Okay, West Virginia.
She said no. Ew.
So that's that, right?
Come on, you don't think Don's a hunk, Karen?
Thank you for that, Miss Karen. So West Virginia, she is connected to the situation in a way that I believe she would know. Now, again, West Virginia, I saw you at Matt's, and so I know that you're pretty flexible in speaking about these things. And I'm not, you guys, hopefully you understand and believe that I have turned a leaf. So I'm not here to, I'm not here to slam anybody. I'm here
Karen's claiming you, Benny, not exactly. Don. She said Benny's my hunk. Because I said, you don't think Don Wells is a hunk? She said, no, Benny is. Well, that's a breath of fresh air.
Thank you for that, Miss Karen. So, hey, Brooke Shelton, good to see you. Thank you to all the members. I appreciate you immensely. As I have not been, I haven't been so motivated, with kind of what I go through at work. I get home and it's just a lot of processing when I get home, and so it really has to be something kind of spectacular and substantial in order for me to kind of pull the trigger, so to speak. So what I do want to mention is that last night, let's just go ahead and pull this up. And I'm going to kind of jump around. So if there's a time where I'm like, hey, that's not the right link or that's not the right tab, bear with me. I cannot see the discussion area. So again, thank you everybody for joining. Yolanda. Okay. So last night, Don joined Matt, and they were up there. They were discussing DCFS. They were discussing, a lot of different topics. But I have to give credit where credit is due. Don was on track, and Matt. I think that Matt and Don, they make for a good presentation. You guys know I hate to call them shows. It makes for a good presentation, and they complement each other well in conversation. So last night, Don was attempting to live stream with Matt, and it was successful. At the very end, I sort of got this feeling in the inflection in Don's voice that he had to jump off really quick. And so the story is, and I believe it wholeheartedly because Matt has he's referred to, and let's everybody be cool, right? Everything is good all around. We don't need to have opinions about certain live streamers or not. We're here to talk about what we know is fact and that we're pretty sure is fact. So last night, Don comes on, and I'm not entirely sure exactly what was the thing, but there was something happened, and whatever happened, it gave way to Candace then in turn contacting Rap, and then Rap either texting or calling and texting, and then telling Don Wells that he was coming after him. Now, to understand that, as far as I understand it, kind of the internet is or the YouTube is sort of a no-no zone for Rap. So you can't really put the connotation on it that Rap is going to come after him on, how people say, oh, they're coming for me. It doesn't appear to be one of those, right? Rap isn't a live streamer. He's not putting videos out. So for Rap to say that to Don, it starts to suggest, like a real world scenario, right? Now moving forward from that, and I will show you that where he kind of abruptly jumps off. And I think that it was clearly after the stream. So what happened was Don and Matt were live streaming. He was being bombarded with calls from Rap, and that Don abruptly jumped off. And then there was a communication between Matt and Don where this information about Rap came to light. So then, understanding how it all played out, Matt came back online and then started dropping information about Candace's alleged activities. We'll say that, right? So inside of this clip too, I'm going to bring up what I find to be a pretty interesting dynamic, because a lot of things happened. A lot of things were said kind of without being said, but then with completely being said, right? So let's take a look at this really quick.
The real Andy, why don't you just call him?
Good point, right? Why, Andy, why don't you just call Don and talk to him about it, right? So the question is, was it me Hunter was talking about, Don? Well, nice use of punctuation, Andy. Right? Like, maybe the question mark on his phone doesn't work. I'm willing to give him that, right? So was it me Hunter was talking about, Don? Anyone that's followed this case, they know that when Hunter was interviewed by Chris McDonut, you know what? I just realized right now why they call him Chris McDonut.
Because he was a cop, Benny.
Donuts and cops, and they go together, but people don't want you to know they go together.
Tell me you really just realized this right now. Is that a joke?
It just smacked me right across both cheeks, across both sides of my head. So,
speaking of donuts, really quick, I just found Boston cream, Ben and Jerry's ice cream, and I ate the whole thing this morning for breakfast.
You're a glutton.
Okay.
This ice cream can be breakfast as long as it has a donut in the name.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry. I'm just like, it was so good. Oh my God.
So Andy, what kind of the facets of this question is with the lack of punctuation, is this actually what Andy is trying to ask Don, or is he wanting to trigger a response from Don in the sense that, like, hey, was it me Hunter was talking about, Don? And I think that Andy wants the public by and large to say, well, yeah, or he wants Don to say to the public by and large is, no, it wasn't you, Andy. It was, some other yahoo, right? Because I think so much of what Andy does is for public consumption, right? I think that Andy is still caught up in wanting to purify, if you will, his image to the internet, right? And to me, that's interesting because it falls in line with the same thing Jody Sue is doing, right? Like you find these two entities that were neighbors, and you've got this alleged scenario, and I don't want to go too far off track on this. You got this alleged scenario of Andy being on the road. Now, I think that it's super interesting for Andy to say he wasn't on the road. Like, right? Like you were at work, homie. You were on the road at least twice that day.
Thank you.
You were there on your way to work, and then you came home. And
So how does he say that this is what, like, and so many people will be like, Andy wasn't on the road that day, but they don't stop to think that they really aren't being honest, and neither is Andy, because of what you just said. Like, he had to leave to go to work, so he had to leave work to come home, so he was clearly on the road. And he doesn't even say, I wasn't on the road that day in between my work hours,
he just says I wasn't on the road. It's because in his finite mind, he already knows that people are suggesting some other time, and he wants to be perfectly clear he wasn't on the road at that time, but will completely leave out the fact that he was on the road twice that day, right? That is just, it's an interesting dynamic to me, right? But what's equally interesting about this is that we know, with everything that's been said over the course of the last 3.5 years, or however long it's been exactly, it's been 1,160 some days now, that Andy didn't just jump right out and say, what I feel like Andy's question should have been was, hey, Don, it wasn't my son running through the woods on these multiple occasions, right, Don? Right?
Oof.
Right? Like that should, in my opinion, that's how Andy is locked in to trying to change his image in the public eye.
And it's all about himself. He's looking to clear himself, not his son. He's just trying to worry about himself. Right? That's selfish.
So we move forward just really quickly with that in mind. Well, let me go back here really quick. So Matt's going to ask him to restructure his question, and then this is what we get.
No, right?
I mean, I'll ask the question for Andy. He wants to know, was it me Hunter was talking about Don?
Now that kind of goes without saying, right? He should know whether or not, like, why does Don's opinion of what he thinks, why does that make a hill of beans to Andy?
Can I add something to that really quick too? So the first thing, when Benny told me that this happened like an hour or two ago, I said, wow, so is Andy actually admitting, because it sounds like to me that's an admission, an indirect admission, that he absolutely was in Hunter's phone at some point, because if he weren't, he wouldn't be asking. And asking the question, was he talking about me, means he has been in Hunter's phone on the regular. So now it also tells me, who's the other Andy? So we always kind of went back to Redmond, right? Because Edward Andrew Redmond, and his middle name was Andrew. So I remember when I had gone through all the property records to look for the name Andrew, and we couldn't find anybody except Ed Redmond, and his middle name was Andrew. But I'm not saying that's who else was in Hunter's phone. What I'm saying is, Andy even asking the question to begin with is admission that he was actually in Hunter's phone, because if he wasn't, he'd never ask the question.
That's it. We're not dealing with, this guy is not the Olympian of intelligence, right? That's just my opinion. I mean, hell, Andy could be some sort of rocket scientist and we just don't know about it, right? I don't know, but that is a great point, right? Is that he's saying so much without actually, he has no spatial self-awareness, right? Andy is just Andy, right? And I'm not, again, I know that there's some people that support Andy and his plight, and I'm not here. I'm talking about Andy. So any live streamers, or I even hate to say the word creators, but any live streamers that support Andy, I get it. This isn't shade on you. This is me just discussing Andy's situation, right? So please don't take it offensive. And I hate that I have to preempt and preface everything like that.
Well,
But
you shouldn't have to, though, because at the
you're
end
right.
of the day, it's always about Summer, and every single person that anyone ever talks about, it's not like anybody, people know you're not attacking him.
No.
You're just bringing it up. This is something that actually happened, and you're
Right.
talking about it. But at the end of the day, like, if anybody would take that as an attack, like, where is Summer in their mind? Like, where is she in the picture of all of that is what I would ask,
Absolutely. So he's going to rephrase and restructure the question.
That's it. You guys, can you rewrite the question? Even the one before, like, was there a stranger in the yard? Like, no problem, I'll ask him, but like, it's,
Again, so what we have is we have two situations where potentially, and we'll go into theoretics, let's say theoretically, right, it was Andy running around on the hill trying to touch kids, because that's what was said in the Chris McDonough interview, right? But then we also have people, i.e. Pam Sanchez, saying that, and we have the woodcutter guy, right, or the guy delivering the wood. They said that they've identified Boog as allegedly being one that was seen in the woods running away, right? So what that would mean is that we have this magnetic draw, kind of like, that brings Andy and his son to the same spot, but under weird pretenses, right? Now, again, I'm not here to say Andy was over there touching on kids. That's not what I'm saying. But he certainly doesn't jump right out and defend his son. And I think that also has to do with the spatial awareness, right? I think Andy is caught up being a YouTube subscriber, and his attention span is not what it should be, right? So he's worrying about what it is just right today that's in front of him. He probably can't even conceptualize the fact that his son has been brought into this, years ago, in regards to at least twice. And then we have the kiddie pool story, and we've got some different things that involve Boog, right? So let's listen to this real quick.
I think like more specific, but if you could take Andy's
question. There could have been a stranger in the yard. I mean, especially when I don't know. I mean, I know there was a lot of drug stuff going on. We had stuff missing from around the house. But like, if it would have been one of them guys, I mean, unless it was a loner or something, I mean, it's just so hard to say. There's so many different theories. It's really hard to say. We just don't know,
Yeah.
We just don't know.
There was Andy lurking around.
Oh, thank you, Andy. See, it's very hard to and I'm not trying to be a dick to anybody, but to Andy, it's hard for me to understand like a little bit of a.
So he restructures the question. Hunter said there was an Andy lurking around kids. Now, if it's not you, it's not you, and you don't need to get Don's approval for it, right? Now, again, by saying that, I'm not saying that Andy was lurking around kids, but this right here should always be a thing in your mind. This just happened 2 weeks ago. This right here. The anomaly, right? This should always, as a father, as a protector of your children, this should always be a thing. You should always remember the fact that Killer Looks put this together. And then that it was also clipped in this.
Too stupid to realize what they're doing, which is helping this group try to contaminate, discredit, and contaminate jury pools and shit like that against my eldest.
Now, I never have agreed with Jody Sue's sentiments more than I have today, right now. Right? She said this publicly. And of course, now this is going to trigger her to go on 87-hour lives for 14 and a half days in order to try to wash down what we're talking about right here for 5 minutes, right? So this should always be a thing. She's saying what she's actually saying is that he is messing up the jury pool for their eldest. And that he apparently, while doing that, is only worried about what he looks like on the internet. Why does Andy, Tiffany, feel like he owes anybody any explanation? She may have muted. I'll answer that.
Sorry,
There
Benny.
you go.
Sorry. I was literally putting David's dinner on a plate. What did you say? I said, did he just ask me a question?
So why do you think Andy is so concerned with his image on the internet?
I think
he's not worried about this right here. When she's worried about it. She's worried about what Andy may or may not be doing to their son's image online.
I was going to actually touch on this a few minutes ago, but you were talking and I didn't want to disrupt your flow. So I'm glad you asked. So when you were talking about Andy worrying about himself, not worrying about his son, I was going to say, and you know what, this is in not in like defense of Jody Sue, but hey, like, I'm a mom. How many moms are in this chat? How many women are in this chat that would just protect children in general because they're a woman and they have that maternal instinct? Jody has the instinct to protect her child. Andy does not. And we've watched Jody for a long time even beg Andy to protect her son, to protect her daughter. We watched it from jump. Even when Benny and I would go live and we might talk about stuff, we didn't even need to say really much at all. She took it immediately as an attack. And you know what? That's completely, she has every right to, if she feels someone's attacking her kids, that's the way she feels. But Andy does not care at all if Jody feels her son is being attacked or her daughter's being attacked or accused or spoken about even. Andy doesn't have a care in the world. But then again, you see that Andy has removed himself from the home situation as well. Jody's the one that was there with her kids. Andy was not. So she was the remaining parent. So when it comes down to it at the end of the day, I think it's in his nature to be selfish in that way. There are dads in this world that would go to the ends of the earth for their kids, would protect them with all they've got. Not everybody has a dad like that. Some dads aren't like that. Some moms aren't like that. But
it's the proverbial saying, like, I take a bullet for that kid, right?
Right.
Like, no, Andy doesn't appear that he would take a bullet for anybody.
No, he would literally, I feel like he would throw his kids in front of the bullet to save himself. And I think we've actually seen that here. And with respect to what Jody has been saying, she isn't wrong about the way that Andy has gone about a lot of things. But then again, too, I think, well, what do we not know? What don't we see? I'm sure, and I felt really strongly about this, and I think you'd probably agree, even Benny, is that there's something about the two. So sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, you were saying thank you to hair curlers.
No, thank you so much, hair curlers. Thank you.
I think that you'd even agree, and most people would, that we've watched as Andy has literally only cared about his, like you said, his own image. He's not worried about if his kid is being, it's almost like if his kid's being accused and he's not, it's all good. As long as he's not, you know what I mean?
Yes, I agree.
Jody's the one that's like, you've been attacking, torturing, traumatizing, and, like the broken record thing. But I think she really does feel that way. And I mean, well, at least the kids have one parent that is looking out for them or whatever, because Andy certainly isn't. Thank God for Jody, because I will say I don't think that Andy is a very paternal figure in his kids' lives. And, you know, when you don't have one, thank God one of them is trying to protect their kids. Now, what they're trying to protect them from, I don't know. That's a whole nother story. If
Thank
it's
you, Miss
about,
Rhonda. We sure appreciate you, sweetheart.
if it's
Thank you,
about,
means the world to me.
if
So
it's about Summer,
yes.
sorry. If
No, go ahead.
I'm almost done. If it's about Summer, then, you know, that's a problem, because I would hope that Jody would be protecting the baby, you know, whether it's her kid or not. Summer's an innocent child as well, you know. So it all is, it's so fucked up, because, you know, I want to say that, you know, what I just did about, well, thank God she protects her kids, but then I don't feel that way. If something had happened to Summer that we don't know more about, then I'm not okay with that. But at the end of the day, what was Andy doing? Well, it came right out of the mouth of Jody. He was selling drugs, she said, to Don and Candace to sedate the children so they can be touched.
Nicolina, thank you so much for your contribution, Queen. You know it means the world to us. Thank you, Nick. I sure appreciate you. It means the world.
Thank you, Nicolina. Thank you for being.
Thank you. And that's the thing. I'm trying to stay fact-based here, although a little bit of the cup overfloweth, you know, with this. Hey, Casper, good to see you. And again, this segment isn't going to be about Andy necessarily. It just, I found some very interesting things when it came to the commentary that Andy had, and then pull up the stuff about Jody defending her son. And it's just sort of the poles of that, right?
It really is a fact, though, that Hunter got a text from someone named Andy, and now you've got Don, you know, Andy saying, was it me that he was talking about? Well, okay then, Andy, you just sold yourself down the river, because now we know you actually were in his phone that day. And what are the odds of there being two Andys in Hunter's phone? I'm not really sure, but
pretty slight, I think.
Like, I think you just got an admission here, and that's pretty important. Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, I think that Matt had so much going on with the stream, and then anyone that's ever dealt with Don, you know, that it's
things got a little crazy quickly.
Yeah, like you're locked into dealing with Don's situations, and that it's almost like you got blinders on, right? I know from experience, but I know exactly what Matt is going through when it comes to dealing with the Wells, good, bad, and indifferent, right? So, yes, Michelle, you're absolutely right. No, Miss You, you're correct. The text went to Candace's phone while she was in the store. When she was in the store, the text came up on Candace's phone.
But Don saw it.
Hunter saw it.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
I'm ignoring.
She's doing dinner stuff and all that. But yes.
I'm gonna mute. Sorry.
No. It's okay.
No, that was bad. That was a bad one.
No. But you're exactly right. The text came through on Candace's phone. It came through before Summer was even supposed to be missing. Exactly. Summer's in the back seat with Hunter at this time, and that Hunter is, for lack of a better word, snooping on the phone, right? So you've got these different things. Now, also interjecting for a moment into this scenario.
Oh, and it was moved, Benny, to the photo album. Right. That's what. So it was said that it was in the photo album section of the phone as well. So how true that is, I don't know, because I wasn't there, but that is what was said. Hunter said that it was in the photo albums.
I'm going to leave this comment pinned for a particular reason. Not that no one else is making any great comments, because you all are. But I want you to understand the gravity of this comment that Miss Danny has made, because here in just a few minutes, we're going to get to why that's so important, right? Now, I'm going to go ahead and sort of segue into that by saying there's no way Don could know that there's anyone on the hill potentially trying to touch kids, theoretically touch kids, unless what? He would have to be there present to know this, right? Don would have to be at the house when this was allegedly happening, or the only other way is that one of the boys could have reached out to Don and said, hey, there's a guy here, da 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 da. Or one of the other facets of that is that Hunter was just not telling the truth, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Chasing, you've got a few different ways this could happen, right? Because we also understand that per Candace's statement is that when she went out to help Grandma with the knee brace, the boys were in the house on their devices, right? So we know there was devices, and we know that in the realm that these boys could have reached out to Don if he weren't there, right? Now, so thank you, Jody, for your statement. We're going to go ahead and move to this.
Is it possible that something happened to Summer that Candace knows about that's not her fault, but she is just nervous now and feeling bad about it?
Well, no, because she knows better. She would know to go directly to law enforcement. And
I don't think Candace actually does know better. I'm just going to say that right now. And I'm not trying to offend anyone. And again, I know my opinion probably doesn't mean anything to a lot of people, right? We know Candace doesn't know better. There's 7 children in the lineage of Candace, all of them in other places, right? We also, if we can remember, I've got 7 alibis. Candace doesn't have 1, right? But then really quick, what I want to move over to is this. And thank you, Evil Exists, for this.
Many believe that Don is covering for his wife, Candace Wells. What he knows about the disappearance of Summer Wells, we can only speculate for now. However, I believe he knows a lot more than he is letting on. This conversation definitely caught my attention.
You're supposed to, it's not about you, it's about Summer. Yeah, I can tell. It's about you. Oh, wow, bitch. I didn't go there. All right, then. I went and had a look at your ass, so, and I even protected your ass. You didn't protect me. Oh, really? Yeah. And just don't go there. Don't even go there.
What could he be protecting her from? Because we know that
it sounds like herself at the moment when he says don't even go there. He's in all actuality, I feel like he's saying shut your mouth, don't even go there, like you're about to say something that, I mean, that's just what I take away from it. I could be completely wrong because I don't know what their dynamic is like. I don't know what don't go there means for them. You know what I mean? I mean, sometimes those types of sayings can mean different things to different people. I
mean, it's like one of those don't go there, talk to the hand, or is it like don't go there? Like
I think it's like don't go there, be careful, watch what you say, like don't go there. That's kind of what I took away from it. But I mean, I'm not them, and I don't know like what they, you know, how they, you know, how you talk to your significant other or to your children or to your family, to your friends. Your friends know you. They know what you mean when you say something. Benny, if you were to say, don't go there to me, you'd probably be joking. You know what I mean? Like you've never said, don't go there in a tone where I'd be like, oh, I better shut the fuck up. Right. Like, so everybody knows what people close to them mean when they say certain things. But if I were to guess, I feel like he's protecting her from her own mouth.
Right. Now I want to slow this down just a little bit because I think that there was such a wealth of actual information, and then there's been a wealth of opinion-based information, or then there's just been a wealth of just crap, right? So I'm going to slow this down just a little bit, right? Listen.
You're supposed to start about you. It's about someone. Yeah, I can tell.
It's about you. It's about
Play it
you.
one more time if you don't mind. Did you slow it down to?
Yeah, it's at 0.75.
Put it to. Oh, it's at 0.75. Okay. There's no in between there, is there? Because they changed it. I know on my phone they changed it a little bit where you can like kind of slide the thing over.
Yeah.
It's hard because of Candace's, the way that she speaks sometimes is a little bit,
it's a little unintelligible,
like sluggish almost. Like
Yeah.
sometimes her speech is a little sluggish. So
I think that probably comes with a certain amount of whiskey too. Like,
sure.
Yeah, because there's other times you can really understand Candace, even with you know, her dental situation, and then there's other times where you can't so
Or
much.
even too, like her being in the background and him being closer to the microphone, I have a lot of trouble. Like if Dawn was in the background speaking, you don't really have too much trouble. It almost sounds like she's got a face cloth in front of her mouth while she's talking sometimes. You know, it's hard to hear her.
Yep. Don't go there. Educated opinion. That could possibly be a reasonable ideal. You
What
know?
they say.
They said she took the "don't go there" as a threat, like, or I can easily expose you.
See, that's what. See, I would totally say that's absolutely a possibility. When he said "don't go there," it did sound a bit threatening, you know, like, and he said it several times, so it could very well be a threat.
Yes, Janica, I certainly will. Feel free to email me the link if you want, or I'm not sure if I have link sharing turned off, but you can go ahead and try to share the link here.
What is it?
Actually, try to email it to me. Try to keep this thing kind of consolidated. They said, hi, Benny. If you go back to the interview where Don and Candace were asked if they dream of summer, go back and listen. Thank you, Case K. Okay.
Yeah, we could pull that up at some point. Listen to that.
Back to this.
Definitely caught my attention.
You're supposed to start about you. It's about someone.
Now, I don't want to cloud this portion of it, but that's one thing I could say. If you had to look at the consistency of either parent and who came on and did what, I agree with Matt wholeheartedly that you know, Don has certainly came on and talked about Candace Summer much more often than Candace.
Oh yeah,
here, right?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I used to say that a lot, that and I got some shit for it quite a bit actually, because there were times where I had said, you know, Don is keeping Summer's case in the forefront. He would talk to anyone who would listen. That keeps her case alive. It keeps people talking about her. If Don had not been so willing to talk to people, you know, a lot of what has transpired on here, and even for law enforcement to hear, I mean, I'm sure they use a lot of those conversations as tools and pull from it what they can, anything that might be helpful even. Don definitely did a good job, and I think even still to this day when he speaks, people listen, they show up because they care about Summer. You know, if Don's talking, if Candace is talking, people are going to listen because they care about their daughter.
100%.
But right there where she said it's not about you, it's about Summer. I want to say too, where we're talking about protecting children, you know, where Jody protects her children more than Andy, in my opinion.
Right.
I feel Candace is on the side of Summer here in this conversation. She's saying it's not about you. This is about Summer. And that's a motherly thing to do, you know.
I agree. At the same time, there's this sliver of
You question it like?
Well, there's like this sliver of uncomfortability for me when
Yeah.
Candace says whatever she says, it's inaudible, but then she says it's about you. And this is just me playing devil's
But
advocate.
what does that mean though? Like that kind of
Almost like-
scares me.
Right. It's
Yeah.
almost like she's almost as if she has something she could say that's about him that's not good, right? And then he goes, "Wow, don't even go there." Now, the don't even go
He
there.
knows what she's talking about.
He knows the thing exactly.
Mhm.
He knows whatever the thing is. Now, I'm not saying Don or Candace did anything. Please don't. No one.
Right. Yeah, we're
They're
just like
breaking down their own words, right?
Yeah.
So he says it's not about you, it's about Summer. She has something garbled, and it says it's about you. And then he says, "Wow, don't even go there." She says, "I already did." And then he says, "I've even been protecting your rear end," which to me, you could take it as him also protecting someone else when he says, "I've even been protecting you," right? Like in concert with someone else, right? So
even, yeah, because the even throwing in the I've even been protecting you would mean there's someone else he's
correct.
Yeah.
So when you move forward to this, just to give it a context, right?
Mhm.
On statement about having 7 alibis and Candace having none, so she is going down. I don't think we will ever forget that. We now have an explanation for why he said that, and Don completely brushes it off as a joke. I'm not sure what to think of such a joke, considering that Summer, a 5-year-old girl, is missing, and everyone is still a person of interest in her disappearance. Making a joke about his own wife going.
Now, this isn't actually the video that I wanted to play, but it just corroborates,
What was the one you were looking for, Benny? I can help you find
it
it.
was the 7 alibis Starlink thing.
Okay, let me see if I can find it.
Okay. Let me go here.
Do you have it sent to yourself or no?
No, I just
You
looked
thought that
up
was
on the
it.
fly, and I think I just clicked on the wrong one. Okay, we're not going to play JLRs.
Does he have it though? Is that the
No.
right one? No, it's not. Let me see if I can find it quickly. I don't have it like saved or anything. I'll just put in. Oh, you know what?
Actually, this is probably not a bad play here either. There
Okay.
were 7 alibis. What did you mean by that? 7
Here it is.
people. Oh, you got it? Okay.
Got it. Yep. I'm gonna send it to you, Benny.
All right.
But go do what you were just doing with that too.
Yeah, this here also is potentially important, multiplied by the comment that is still pinned, right? You got to remember, I want you to not overlook the pinned comment, because it's going to be relevant here before very long. Bear with me, folks. I do apologize. I think this is
right.
Yeah.
Here it is, right here. Okay.
Oh, you got it, because I was recording it and I was gonna send it to you.
Thank you to Amzi, beloved, whoever you are.
Amzi, yeah.
Yes.
I know her.
This is the video I was looking for. And I'm sorry that I was searching right out in front of all of you. That's not what I had intended on doing. I'm just a little bit rusty still.
Oh my God, it's not a big deal, Benny.
You've got this portion here. Let's listen to this.
Oh, wow, bitch. I didn't go there. I did. I went and handled it, so, and I even protected your ass. You didn't protect me. Oh, really? Yeah. And just don't go there. Don't even go there.
Now, he's been protecting her.
She's saying you didn't protect me. So, and he's like, don't even go there. So, I mean, what I take away from that just as myself is that Don has done something to protect Candace. And I feel like, and I don't, it's just my own feeling, it's not a fact. I feel that he is saying, I've protected you with what all has gone on, and maybe, you know, something going wrong, and not that they did anything to her.
No.
It could be something as simple as Candace maybe took her eyes off Summer for 15 minutes while she ran in a neighbor's house. It could be something that parents have done a million times in the world. I mean, I see parents leave their kids in the car outside the corner store all the time. It happens every day, but you don't expect to come out and your kid isn't in the car and they're gone, right? So like, I don't want anyone to take away from that I'm saying anybody hurt her. It could have been a bit of a neglectful situation almost, and where Don might be saying, I protected you. Like, I didn't tell anybody that you did that.
Which would also allude to the critical thinkers that he has knowledge of whatever. I mean, you can't protect somebody from something you don't know about, right?
Right.
So you would have to have an intimate firsthand knowledge, at least, of what you're protecting someone from, right? And, you know, to call her the B word while you're telling her that, you know, it's just like, it's kind of a whole vibe, right? But then you go to this right here, which sort of, this is interchangeable with the audio we just listened to, whether you play it previous or after, right? It doesn't matter which way you play these two pieces of media. They kind of, they collide and coincide in a way. Listen.
I have 7 alibis.
Can you hear Candace in the back? It's just sort of.
I can, not very well, but yes, I can hear her in the back.
And I don't think that it's anything intelligible that she's saying. I think she's just, you know, in a stupor. We'll just say that.
Well, this was the night that Don and Candace were up on Molly Golightly's panel. And I want to say this too. I think it's important people hear this. And I'm like going off track, but I see it all the time and it kind of really irks me. So there was a noise in the background. A lot of people will say, oh, that was the night that Don hit Candace.
Right.
No one ever saw Don hit Candace.
No.
No one.
It's a sound that, you know, you could certainly lead you to believe there was.
He could have been slapping the nightstand or
Absolutely.
a wall, or nobody, if you didn't see it, it would be like saying, calling CPS on someone and saying that they abused their child because you heard something in the background. You didn't see it. So don't report that you saw, you know, don't report that something happened that you didn't see.
Right.
A sound could be a lot of things. And I feel like a lot of people run with that. And so many people spread that around, that Don hit Candace on that live. Now, whether he did, we don't know because we never saw it with our own eyes.
Right. Exactly. Now, if you remember that text thread that we just saw about him saying 7 alibis were 7 coworkers and his boss, you're going to hear something here that kind of unsubstantiates that, if that's even a word. It doesn't substantiate the 7 coworkers and yada, yada, yada. Listen to this.
Candace ain't got none. She's going down.
I'm sorry?
I didn't say anything.
Okay, it was in the recording.
Yep.
Candace ain't got none. She's going down.
That sounds like Laura. Was Laura on that? I think Laura was on that panel. That's Laura's mouth.
Could have been.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
And they've always said you were at work.
Yep.
Yep.
No,
I have 7 alibis. I have 7 alibis. Candace ain't got none. She's going down.
You were at work. Right?
Yep. Yep.
And then,
at some point, he talks about Starlink being one of the alibis, which
I
Starlink
think
is it in this one?
I think he spoke about Starlink after, but you know what? It's been so long. I'm not sure. I do think it was after. I don't think it was in this one. Maybe it is. Keep playing it and we'll see. But I feel like
They've always said you were at work.
Yeah.
No, he
I
said
have
he had
7
something to go for.
alibis. I
maybe
have
he said
7
Starlink
alibis.
is one.
Right, which would
Like I
maybe
feel
if
like
it
he
wasn't
said I
7 coworkers, it was 6 coworkers and then Starlink. So
yeah, like I feel like he said I feel like he said I have 7 alibis and Starlink is one or something like that. I don't know why I remember those words, but
let's see. It seems like this is just on a loop.
oh, is it?
Yeah, this is just a loop.
But where's the rest of the you know what's unfortunate too is Molly's channel got struck. You know, you lose a lot of things when people don't realize when you strike people and take people's channels down, you lose history. And if it's not saved, like, I don't know, it's kind of upsetting. But thankfully, a lot of people did record things.
Absolutely. So it's out there somewhere. And
yeah.
Again, the aficionados, you guys know.
Do you want me to go look for it, Benny?
If you want, if not, it's no big deal.
Do you want it for this live? Because I can.
She would never.
No, I probably. I mean.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
She knows better than that. I know it happens. It does happen with people, but no, she would go directly to law enforcement. She'd call an ambulance right away. Number one, do anything. She would freak out. I mean,
could she have gotten herself into a situation where it wasn't her fault, but
no,
you know what I mean?
No.
Again, this is another piece of that media. He's been protecting her. It's his words, right? Again, we don't know. You can only imagine that the context of this conversation, right, is on a live stream somewhere. It's weird because you hear a phone call, whatever it is. I don't know if they're on the phone with somebody and they get recorded. I don't know, but it's sort of conflicting when here he's saying, no, she knows better. She wouldn't do this. She wouldn't do that. But then here he's been protecting her, right? So I guess you can raise the question to yourself and whatever you want to do. But this is the bulk right here. I want to have a conversation about this. Maybe some of you have caught what's getting ready to be played. Maybe some of you didn't, right? But this also will go back to this right here. It all ties together, right? It ties together. Hunter said there was an Andy lurking around kids. How did this information get to Don? I mean, so again, I had laid out the 3 main ways in my mind that this information was even a thing, right? Either the boys contacted Don, right? It didn't happen, but you never hear, I guess it's the main 2 ways. Why didn't the boys just contact Candace? Because Candace was the one that could have gotten there quicker. The boys seemingly would have contacted Candace. If they could contact Don, they could contact Candace. They would have, in my opinion, they would have contacted Candace and said, hey, Mom, there's a guy named Andy lurking around kids down here. Well, they would have been the kids, right? Follow me. They would have been the said kids that a guy named Andy was lurking around. What other kids were there? There were no other kids. Summers with Grandma and Candace. I think that the Brown Bernard youngest, right? That child is tucked away. We know where that child's at, theoretically, right? It's at home with Jody. What other kids were there around for Andy to be lurking around that anyone would have been able to see? So this would have been a firsthand account, right? It's not like the boys are looking down the hill and see some other kids that Andy is, you know what I'm saying? This is a firsthand account from the Wells boys, right? The Wells boys, they're at home. Now, we've heard other conflicting statements that Don had the boys with him. Who knows? We can't know, right? We can only suspect, right? But, oh, and the other one is if this even was a thing, maybe H misread something. Maybe H made this up. This is no shade on H at all, but we're laying out the ways it could have been. Now, let's take it for face value, right? This would have had to have come from the Wells boys. Why did they contact Don? And then the relay from Don to Candace, right, on her phone. But what you see is sort of a pattern, right? Because when Candace realized, when she come to her senses and realized this Summer is missing, what did she do? She contacted Don. We know this. She contacted Don and told him, hey, Summer's missing. And then Don has to say, you need to call the police. So she calls first, I believe it was, what time was it, Tiffany, that she called? 6:32. And then Don calls 1 minute later at 6:33. Don said that he called while he was en route. However, he was in a different county. So that call had to be, they said, I don't know. I don't remember if they forwarded him or that they said, hey, you need to call Hawkins County. Right. So the relay of information, that pattern looked the same as this pattern. Right. The boys tell Don, Don tells Candace. Right. It's the same. It's not that direct approach right to an issue. Right. Now, the interesting part about this is that on the very day Summer goes missing, allegedly Don is telling Candace there's someone lurking. Take away whatever name, take away the name Andy, right? Taking it for face value, there's someone who's lurking on the day that the child goes missing. But nobody calls the cops, right? Candace, I believe, would have and should have been the person that rushed home. She's at least half again closer than Don is. She's basically in the area, right? Don is in Jonesboro. He's not in the area, right? He's 50 minutes away if he's driving 70 miles an hour down dirt roads, right? So you've got a situation earlier in the day that looks like, and this is taking it off for face value, guys. You got a situation where the boys, at face value, the boys contact Don, Don contacts Candace, and then H intercepts it, right? Now, you have to ask yourself, why was there not more emphasis put on this whole, there's a guy lurking, right? Candace didn't rush right home. You've never heard her say, oh, well, H said, check your phone. Don is texting you saying kids are being lurked on, and that she would have just rushed home. She's at the store, in the store. He's out with Summer. H is out with Summer in the truck. He intercepts this message. No. Candace gallivants on over to Allie's house to drop H off. If there's a real sense of emergency, she heads straight home with H in the truck. You don't have time, right? H gets Summer out of the car and says, we got to go find your mom. There's a serious situation going on at your house. He goes in and finds her in this is the regular normalized dynamic that you would expect out of the idea that someone's lurking around the kids. Does anyone disagree with that? I don't know if you're muted, Tiffany. Oh, she fell off. She's in the back. Sorry, I just got your text.
I've been backstage. I'm like, you're talking to me.
I
I'm
apologize.
Like, I'll figure it out eventually.
So, could you hear it?
Could I hear what? Oh, I could hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, I could hear everything.
Don't you agree that the normalized response to Don texting Candace that someone's lurking, the normalized response is to rush home and on the way call the police, right?
I don't know, because that would be a normal response for people like you or I or people in the chat. And unless, and this is where it gets murky, because anyone who knows what it's, or anybody who knows people that may have some things hanging around the house that might not be so savory, or things that need to be put away, or things that need to be cleaned up, are not going to call the police right away.
Could it be this is one of the people that Don says in this segment right here?
Absolutely, in my opinion.
Could it be one of the unsavory friends and that the boys just misidentify who is lurking around them?
The thing is, I feel like I feel like those,
hold on one second.
Yeah,
Or is this an orchestration? Is this an earlier getting in the pre-planning phase, right? If we take it there, right? Let's just take it there theoretically for a minute. If it's it could be a misidentification of who it is. It could actually be Andy or someone named Andy, or it could be the pre-planning stage where you're orchestrating a weirdo who is around the hill lurking on the kids, and that they just don't report it, and that later on she gets taken. There can't be two weirdos, right? Could there be two weirdos? You got to ask yourself that. Could it be a weirdo that's lurking around the kids and then he goes home about his business, and then a whole nother weirdo, it's like tag, like your turn, and then the next guy comes in and then he's the one, or gal, whoever, they come in, this person comes in and takes the girl from the hill? Or is it none of the above, and that potentially Don is just creating a scenario so that later on they can say, yeah, there was a weirdo lurking around the hill? I don't know. And I'm not saying any one of those things. It's all theoretical.
right.
All theoretical. But you have these pieces, and the only thing that we can really expound on, I guess you could say, is the lack of response, or just the response in general. You're not getting the response for, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're not getting the response. So maybe there's an actual weirdo lurking around, but there isn't the response. Candace is not like, hold on, we got to call the police and find out what's going on over there.
Right.
Like,
I just feel like if it were somebody that the kids knew who was around, they were familiar with said weirdos, I would imagine, because the kids saw a lot that went on there. So I do feel like if what Hunter said was true, then it would be someone unknown to them or unknown to Hunter, which is kind of hard to believe because they seem to include the kids in a whole lot of things. And they seem to subject them to a lot of strangers and different people that would come around. I feel like if it were somebody that Hunter knew, or someone that the boys knew, let's say the boys were there. Okay. Right. And I'm not saying they were, but let's say the boys were the ones that told Candace there was some guy up there on the property. There's like a little truth in every lie. What if the phone call, what if the phone call that came through wasn't all that has been said? What if it went down a little bit differently? I just feel like if there was someone around, it would have been someone that people were familiar with. And I don't think that there would have been any question. If there was a random person around,
right,
I think there probably would have been someone around if Don was at work that could have gone over there as well. Like, think of in your own lives, if your kids were at home and they called you at work and said, Mom, Dad, somebody's in the yard and
I'm breaking the bank
in the bushes. You'd be like, all right.
Yeah.
You'd be calling the closest person to your home that would be running over there, maybe call the police, whatever. But it doesn't seem like that was their MO that day for whatever was happening up there. It was more, why would you, who the hell is going to still be hanging around 45 minutes later when Don gets back from Jonesboro?
Right. Now, please remind me, because I don't want to forget this.
Mm-hmm.
In this segment,
Mm-hmm. There's no sound on it.
Oh shoot, there's no sound. Okay,
It's
hold on
okay.
1 second. It did tell me that too. Okay. What I want to do is I want to make the connection here that yeah, right here. I want to make the connection that would Candace actually go to law enforcement? Would she actually call an ambulance? Listen.
Ambulance right away, number one. She would go directly to law enforcement. She'd call an ambulance right away.
Now, just fast forwarding a little bit, right? Candace's best friend in the whole wide world, Dee Dee, needed attention, medical attention. Candace failed, and this is via Matt. Candace failed to render life-saving measures such as CPR, and if I'm not mistaken, failed to call 911. This is her best friend in the whole wide world. Like, this lady is dying in front of Candace, and Candace does not give life-saving measures and does not call 911. That's what
I don't want to defend Candace on not calling 911, so I'm not going to, because that is absolutely asinine. But not administering CPR, I could see maybe she doesn't know how to. Okay, but what about 911? So there's
what about
no
911?
excuse.
No excuse.
Yeah.
Right? So making that connection that she wouldn't do it for her best friend, so we already know that it's potentially in her character,
right,
to not do it if it were her daughter as well, right? Now, maybe that's a stretch. Now, I know that you're going to love your child. Hypothetically, you're going to love your child more than you do your best friend. But if there's no shades of love, then you just profoundly love your best friend. You profoundly love your child, right? So in a sense, to me, this is not necessarily all the way true. Now, I believe that Don wants to believe that, right? He wants to believe that if something happened to Little Summer, that Candace would perform life-saving measures or at least call the police, right? Or ambulance.
Mm-hmm.
But we know she didn't do that in Dee Dee's case, right? Now, moving forward. This is what I call the meat and potatoes of the situation right here, right? This actually this is actually very confusing to find because, well, I actually didn't go looking for this. I was looking for something else. But because the way News Nation butchers and recycles and rewashes and rinses and reuses things,
yeah,
they use all the same clips everywhere. This was a tidbit that they did not reuse, right? They love to reuse Ronnie Lawson saying that everything's on the table, everyone's a person of interest, right? They love to reuse that.
Yep.
And I think that that's to push a narrative that all people, if you listen to the verbiage, all people back in that holler are a person of interest. I don't know that he's issued, and I don't think, correct me if I'm wrong, he's not issued a statement saying, okay, X, Y, and Z, W, X, Y, and Z, they're no longer persons of interest. It's still a standing offer, right? He's not retracted that and said, okay, well, no one's a person of interest, which I do want to touch on momentarily, that you have Detective Pruitt, who believes in this bear theory.
Oh,
right?
God.
He believes in this bear theory that she wandered off and became a victim to.
That really irks the hell out of me, I gotta say.
Right? But guess what?
Mm-hmm.
Nowhere in anything Ronnie Lawson has said in terms of everything being on the table and everyone being a suspect, or a person of interest, rather, he's never said a black bear. Ronnie Lawson has never said that there's a local black bear to that holler and we think he's a person of interest too.
Right.
So what you can deductively reason from that is that Pruitt has one theory and that Ronnie Lawson has an alternate theory that does not have to do with wildlife. Ronnie Lawson believes that there's a person involved. or persons. Detective Pruitt, maybe he wants to prematurely close the case in his bear theory, right? Or being a victim to the elements, or whatever it is he actually truly believes. Maybe that's Pruitt trying to, in the eyes of the social world, close the case in a way where maybe he thinks saying this will preempt people to say things maybe they shouldn't. But what you can gather right from it is a duplicity in the way they both believe. Ronnie Lawson thinks there's persons of interest, and Pruitt does not, right? Moving forward. This right here, again, reiterating, this is the meat and potatoes, right? What I'm going to do is I'm going to play it, and let me grab my phone so I can see. Tell me what you guys hear. What stands out to you in this segment right here?
Summer's dad, Don Wells, agreed to meet with us. We talked to him on the edge of his property where Summer disappeared.
That's not it. But it's very interesting, the verbiage that Brian Enton uses. Is he saying that this is the property she disappeared from? Or is he saying the edge of the, we know that this right here, their hill is up here. The hill is up here. This is the lower property with the shed. That's as close as they would allow News Nation and Brian Enton to get. So the verbiage is just all less than accurate, right?
Brian had asked to go for a ride actually with Don, and Don said yes, but then he
changed at the last minute.
Yeah, he didn't want to take Brian Enton for a ride, and I thought that was odd because Brian Enton's a pretty good dude. Like, I don't think he would have overstepped any boundaries. I don't think he would have made Don feel uncomfortable. I don't know if it was the timing and what they'd already been going through with people. Maybe it was just too much. Who knows what was going on that day in their household. It could have been a bunch of different factors. But I always do wonder, like, I wonder what would have happened had they gone for that ride. You know, Brian Enton's a really great reporter. And
sure,
I think about all the people that Don and Candace have spoke to over the years. And I always used to advocate for going to national news, not a YouTube channel, not even WJHL, but at least WJHL would have actually fed that to the national media. But, you know, Dr. Phil was the closest they got to being nationwide and, you know, around the world even. And for how passionate Don was about speaking about Summer and wanting to get her out there, you would think he would have wanted to utilize News Nation a little bit more. Brian Enton is one of the best journalists there is, and he wanted to be there for Summer. He went to the TBI. They turned him away. I can't find that anywhere. I don't know if anybody else kind of was talking with Benny earlier about it when Brian Enton walked into the TBI and they said, nope, we have no comment. We're not talking to you. Why would the TBI turn away Brian Enton from News Nation? It's not like he was some rando person trying to get their feet up, you know, their feet wet or dip their toes in the water with like just starting out as some kind of journalist or something. Like, this is the cream of the crop here, and the TBI did not want to speak to him, so it kind of is perplexing.
Yeah, I would agree.
Sorry, I didn't mean to go on and on about it.
One thing I've always thought is we've not seen the green Suburban in all this time, and I just, maybe the green Suburban is 4-wheel drive, and that's what he needed to get on this portion of the property at the time. I don't actually know.
I do know that Candace, when JLR was out there, he was parked over at the cemetery, and gosh, I hope I'm not saying this wrong. If it's wrong, correct me, you guys. But if I recall correctly, he was sitting across the way at Morrison Cemetery. Candace was pulling out of Ben Hill Road onto Beach Creek, and she had the canoes on top of this green
Yes.
Suburban right here. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I always did take note. I think a lot of people did, because it was almost like it was on display, the way that it's sitting there in the field, you know? Yeah. Is that what you're getting at, Benny?
Yeah, it was just like the way that this was staged. I hate to say staged. The way that this shoot was set up, just to me was pretty interesting.
Maybe Don was down there doing some yard work and had driven that and parked it there, and that's where who knows, but it is kind of striking.
Let me really quick, guys.
I sent you the Starlink.
Yep, I just pulled it up. Let me
Ziggy sent me that to my text, and Bridget sent that to my email for you. So 2 people sent it to me.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you. Let's go ahead and play this. Now, guys, spatially thinking, you're going to insert this component back with the alibis and the I'm protecting your rear end deal. This is where you would insert that information. And I'm sorry that it's out of the timeline of what we're doing today. But nonetheless, here it is.
Good friend named Starlink. My buddy named Starlink. And Starlink.
Starlink.
Now, Don, I've heard the story from other people, but I would love to hear from you, like what actually happened that day. Because I've only heard it from like Chris McDouche and a couple of others.
Yeah, but so there's that Starlink, right? Remembering that. Now, let's go ahead and move forward to this.
I have to just say, and I hope you don't mind, Don is sitting here talking about his 7 alibis and Starlink being one of them. And you have Laura, who claims to be a true crime channel. And, she thinks she's like world renowned, and not for nothing, feel however you want about Chris McDonough. He's not, exactly my favorite person in the world. But if the news wanted to use this, or News Nation wanted to put it out, this is what we have in the background. Laura yelling Chris McDouche. Like, this is, you can't make it like this shut up. It's crazy.
No. Why did Benny freak out about Brian coming to interview Don? Wasn't a freak out. No, I'm answering Miss Paula's question. It wasn't a freak out. It was about the politics of it all, right? You have reporters that, so initially I felt like some of Brian Enton's commentary about other situations weren't necessarily on the level. I felt like him coming could become a cluster, right? So I think that the internet is, probably not the best forum for a lot of different things, but I wouldn't call it a freak out. And that's really just that.
Also too, like, Paula, Benny doesn't always see his chat. I'm not sure if you were here a couple minutes ago. I was in his backstage and he was talking to me and thought I was sitting up here and didn't realize I was in the backstage. And then he was thinking I was muted because I wasn't answering him. And like, you're putting all caps in the chat, like, hello, ? And try to be a little patient when people are running a live stream. I know it looks easy down there to you guys, but when you're focusing on all these things and you've sent links to yourself and you know what you want to talk about, and you've also got someone on your panel like me who rambles on and on, like, you kind of do lose track of some things. So
it
wasn't ignoring you.
And I think that, in a different positioning, not to go off topic on Miss Paula's commentary, but it was pretty clear before he actually went to Tennessee that he leaned a certain way. And not that now I don't agree with him, but at the time, I just didn't feel like it was going to be super constructive. I think that it was super constructive, looking back at it now, and even when it had initially happened, right after it happened, I felt like it was constructive. So I hope that answers your question. Now back to this. This is the meat and potatoes of everything. Tell me in the discussion area if you catch what is a little bit askew.
Meet with us. We talked to him on the edge of his property where Summer disappeared.
What do you think happened? What does your heart tell you?
Well, I know in my heart and in my mind she was abducted. Someone snuck up there when we weren't exactly paying attention, and we don't know if they come in the basement and grabbed her, or if she stepped outside the basement and was walking to her swing or something.
You can see the Wells house up through the trees.
Through that, what did you hear? Anybody hear it?
I was writing in the chat. Can you play it one more time, Bunny? I apologize.
You're welcome, Miss Paula. Okay, one more time.
Guest.
Tell me what you hear.
His property where Summer disappeared.
What do you think happened? What does your heart tell you?
Well, I know in my heart and in my mind she was abducted. Someone snuck up there when we weren't exactly paying attention, and we don't know if they come in the basement and grabbed her, or if she stepped outside the basement and was walking to her swing.
Someone snuck up there when we weren't paying attention.
We
weren't paying attention.
Exactly paying attention.
So now this is the thing. Say, I'm just going to give an example. Say you were to be talking to your neighbor and you were talking about your household just as a whole, or what you did that day. You were at work and we missed a package, right? That's a little bit different than saying someone snuck up there while we weren't paying attention. I think it's a whole lot different. And I have actually always believed that Don was at work on June 15th. I've never felt that he was home, but I will be absolutely 100% honest. I never heard ever. Today, it was like I was hearing this for the first time when Benny played it. And I really have to question what actually all went on that day, because he's saying we weren't paying attention and I think someone snuck up on our property and took her. Where were they? We weren't paying attention. Okay, well, were they in the basement? Were they in the car, in the driveway, smoking a joint? Were they in a tree house? Were they out on the 11 acres somewhere digging a hole? I don't know, but we weren't paying attention and she was taken off the property.
Well, to piggyback on that, right? Like,
yeah.
Let's say you and your husband go buy a lottery ticket, or your husband goes and buys a lottery ticket. You're not there, but he wins $1 million. He might say, yeah, we won the lottery. Perfectly acceptable verbiage. But when you say we weren't exactly paying attention, you're putting yourself in the boat of taking fault, right? He's taking fault. And what do we know about the initial statement? Was that Candace was outside for 2 minutes, not 5 minutes, not 22 minutes, 2 minutes. So you sort of have this way where she's distancing herself from being neglectful, right? Initially, she's distancing herself from being neglectful by saying 2 minutes. But while doing that, you narrow the window down so small, right? So small, the window is narrowed, while now you have Don accepting fault for the very thing Candace was trying to distance herself from. Does that make sense? She didn't want to seem like a neglectful mother at the very least.
Right.
She says, yeah, I was only outside for 2 minutes. I came back in and she was gone. Well, now he's saying we weren't exactly paying attention. Now, was he there or not? We can't know that right now. We've heard a lot of different things. What we do know is that he took the Subaru on this day, right? Put all the lotto odds together. You have someone creeping on the property before the girl goes missing. Don takes the Subaru to work. He's a drywaller of all things. You see his clothes right now, don't you? That's drywall mud. Look at his pants. So he takes a new Subaru that, well, by the time I got to it was hit, right? The inside was hit. However, takes a new Subaru to do drywall work. Never done that before, ever. Never, ever, 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 ever. So you have all these different things that have, never happened before. But you now have him saying, when we weren't exactly paying attention. So I think also you could sort of break down the verbiage in your own mind, like where does exactly fit into we're not paying attention, right? How does that word exact, right? It's pretty exact. It's exacting to say exact. So you're putting precision. He's putting precision on the fact that they weren't paying attention.
Right.
They were not paying attention with precision.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So again, going back to the whole idea that Candace distanced herself from any sort of neglect or responsibility, moderately, whatever. She's disassociating herself from any responsibility for the child going missing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or trying to take less fault, whatever it is, right? The accountability is low, right? Now you have Dawn taking the fault that she distanced and disassociated herself from in her initial statement. I know that's a reiteration, but I just had to do it, right? So all of these things are very, they're concerning to me. I don't know. Hold on one second.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's listen to it one more time.
Okay.
Interest. We've not ruled anyone out.
Summer's dad, Don Wells, agreed to meet with us. We talked to him on the edge of his property, where Summer disappeared.
What do you think happened? What does your heart tell you?
Well, I know in my heart and in my mind.
He knows. He knows.
Benny, if you need me to hold your panel
Take
down
it
for
for just a minute. Take it for just a minute.
Sure. So, Julie had a great question in the chat. And I think while Benny's taking that call, I'll bring this up because it's always so important to say it. And I'm going to bring up the last photo of Summer, the last video of Summer and what time that was taken at. And it's verified that it is a part of the timeline of June 15th. I know a lot of people have said that they think that Summer went missing long before June 15th. Well, we certainly know, and Julie, this isn't to you because you didn't say anything about this. I just want to, I'm going somewhere with this and what you had written in the chat. So we know for certain that Summer was seen at the garage sale at the church on Saturday. That was the last time that Summer was seen by other people outside of the family. She was running around the garage sale. She was talking to people. She was happy. She was playing. That is what people in that church congregation have always said, that Summer was there. She was present. So when people try to say like, oh, I think Summer was missing for 3 months before this or 3 weeks before this, I always say, scratch that. That's absolute bullshit. She was seen by her fellow church goers. Then you've got a lot of people. Sorry, Benny, I was filling in the space, but now I'm like, I just got to get it all out real quick. I'm going to try to be quick with it. The 309 photo and video. And yes, there's a photo and a video. Candace sent the 309 photo and video to Teresa at Unmasked when Teresa at Criminality was with Unmasked. Candace just never sent the actual timestamp from her phone, and Teresa did ask her for that. Candace said she would send it, but she didn't get around to doing that. Whether that was because Candace forgot or couldn't, I'm not sure, but I messaged Ansley Daniel, and there's a video on my channel about this. I asked her, because the very first photo that was ever put out by TBI was of Summer in the backseat of Candace Harris' truck laying on the milk. And I had asked Ansley Daniel about the 309 video, and I could drop the link in the chat. It's actually a really important communication thread that I had with her. She verbalized to me that they do not consider that photo of Summer in the back of Candace Harris' truck to be a part of their timeline at all. The last photo and video taken of Summer, there is a photo of Summer in the swimming hole. She's in the pond. There's only water around her, and there's a shadow from the tree above her. She has her arms out, and she's wearing her bathing suit. Her hair is wet. Then there's the video where everybody knows the video of Summer, right, with the flowers in it, and Hunter. That was at 12:28 p.m. on June 15th, and the metadata proves that. So,
let me real quick, Taylor. I understand people could have, issues with other creators. However, I used to think that way. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with your thinking. I'm just saying that to have an issue with a creator and then that affect the way that you feel something is going on. I can appreciate what you mean. However, I feel like Candace is the bad guy, right? If you listen to all of Matt's segment, or the last 3 segments, he did 2 last night, and then he did 1 this afternoon. All of those things he reiterates over and over and over, like, Candace, you just need to stop. Don't make me bring up receipts, right? So I don't feel like by any stretch of the imagination that he would say that if he didn't have them, right? And that's, that's a fact. He has receipts for all of these things, and I believe that wholeheartedly. I believe that he knows intimate details about Miss Dee Dee's passing and Candace's willful neglect to not call services or even attempt, like, hey, if I'm somewhere and somebody needs help and no one's jumping in, like, I guess I'm going to do it. I'm going to emulate what I've seen on TV, right? At the very least, right? So, and I'm not shading you at all. I'm just saying that I don't believe, White Boy used to be not my favorite person in the world. We both made amends to each other, and I can give flowers to the guy. No weird stuff, right? I can give him his flowers when it comes to the situations that he's involved in. When it comes to this, right? Like, I believe what he's saying. I give him his props. That's a better way to say it. I give him his props. I believe him. So I do believe that he had made a mention at the end of his live stream today that he talked about the wedge. There is definitely a wedge now, right? This is, in the beginning, a lot of people wanted to draw a wedge, right? I think that Prayer Garden was one of the first initial ones. People's idea was let's draw a wedge between Don and Candace because, well, we believe they're both involved, and let's draw a wedge, because if we draw a wedge, like, they're going to tell it. Well, the wedge is here now. Wedge is here. 120 acres. Absolutely phenomenal point. That is probably the comment of the day. Dispatch would have absolutely walked her through how to do the CPR process. But you got to call them to get that information, right? You have to call them. So you have to ask yourself, like, and again, this is going, my commentary is based upon white boys' information. I believe him, right? So you see a pattern, right? And then you see that Miss Dee Dee has passed in Candace's presence, and that now Candace is with Dee Dee's husband, Fred. They're an item. They're a thing, right? Casey K, thanks so much for your contribution, Queen. You know it means the world to me. She says, I've been, oops, hold on one second. I've been CPR certified for 17 years. When I found my mom, I froze. 911 walked me through every step. I couldn't even call my sis. I needed police. She needed police as well. So thank you again, Casey K, for your contribution. I think that's not even something that went through my mind listening to all of this. So 120 acres, hey, you get the flowers today, right? Like, that's the comment of the day. So when you're also, when you expound on that and you look at the character, right? So this happened in, Dee Dee passed in the first week of September, and it was kept quiet, right? And I get it. The lady, needs to be mourned properly and, all the other things. But now you have Candace, who has, the way I understand it was that Candace was with Dee Dee and them in Georgia, Dee Dee and Fred. Dee Dee passes. Candace is then seen, or rather not seen, but talked about driving around town in Dee Dee's car. They're doing this and they're doing that. And Dee Dee was, from what I understand, was the breadwinner. The money in the family came from Dee Dee. And that it initially was sort of projected to Don that Candace was there assisting Fred in this afterlife process involving Dee Dee. And then at some point it took a turn because she was actually telling Don, like, hey, there's some land, or there's a place that Dee Dee owns in Gatlinburg, and that they needed a death certificate or something to that effect to sort of solidify this process that was going on. And that Fred and Candace, not Fred Hill, Dee Dee's, I always feel like I need to do that. Dee Dee's husband, Fred, was going to drop Candace back off at Ben Hill once the delivery of whatever this paperwork was in Gatlinburg. And that was sort of the itinerary Fred and Candace had. But then it took a turn, and now all of a sudden Fred and Candace are an item, right? So there also is a video, and I lost the context, or never had the context, rather, of what video or which video it is. But Candace had a conversation with Miss Noel, who is Matt's wife, wanting a particular video removed from the YouTube. And that's interesting to me as well, right? Like, to pressure someone who's telling the truth about you. Like, if it's not the truth, I don't feel like Candace should even worry about it, right? Like, she's not running around asking everybody to take videos down, but she is asking Matt to take a particular video down. And Matt's response to that is, I never dirty delete, and I will not delete the truth. So there's that. And I guess, take it for what it's worth, right? I don't, hold on. This is, who is this from? Go ahead. Can you take it from, let's see. What is this here?
I don't remember what I was even saying, to be honest with you.
I got an email.
Yeah, I had Spirit Seeker Squad send you the link to what you were asking for earlier, the 7 alibis. That's the whole one.
Okay, yes. I got another email, and I don't know. So I guess
I'll just share the video in the chat, you guys. If you want to watch it, you can. What I was talking about with all the when Benny had stepped away, and I was talking about what Julie had brought up in the chat, and then like the time frame and the window of time that it would have taken for Summer to have gone missing, and how long she could have been missing, and like the actual facts of that day. There really are actual facts of the day. I'll just stick that in the chat. You guys can just watch it. I don't remember where exactly I left off, and I was like on a roll, but I don't remember where I was going with it. And I don't have I have such a short span for like attention these days. So like it's so hard for me to like pick up where I left off. So I don't want to I don't know. I feel so discombobulated about it. I'll just share the link in the chat for you guys.
Woman of Steel, thank you for becoming a new member.
Let me go get the.
It means the world to me. I keep saying this, but you members are the reason I feel guilty, because it's like I'm gonna do this, and it's like I need to get more on the ball and I have a couple of things in the members only, and so this week the members can definitely look forward to my opinions on certain things that I may not want to render. It's still going to be very professional. Anyone that's a member can say that, but things that I don't want to necessarily talk about publicly, I will do in the members. Casey K, thanks so much for your contribution, Queen. It means the world to me. I think that, piggybacking on Casey's comment that's pinned, I think anytime you see someone in what appears to be a life-threatening situation, the go-to is 911, right? Now you start to look at all of the other scenarios as to why. I mean, you could let your imagination run wild why Candace didn't act for her best friend, right? And then subsequently be in her car and be allegedly in the bed with her husband. All of those things certainly paint a much wider. Lady May, thank you so much for becoming a member. It means the world to me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It starts to paint a wild picture of Candace's character, right? So I did also want to, just for a moment, let's play this one more time.
We talked to him on the edge of his property where Summer disappeared.
What do you think happened? What does your heart tell you?
Well, I know in my heart and in my mind she was abducted. Someone snuck up there when we weren't exactly paying attention, and we don't know if they come in the basement and grabbed her, or if she stepped outside the basement. They come in the basement and grabbed her, or if she's.
So only God knows, right? Now, and I want to also put some context to giving some understanding that I don't think to White Boy, I don't think it matters who's involved. He just wants answers like everybody else, right? Everybody wants answers. I don't care. It makes me never mind who's involved, long as the involved parties are brought to justice, right? I don't care who it is. I don't have a preference of who I want the suspect to be, right? I don't share Mr. Pruitt's ideology that it's a bear. I think it's pretty clear at this point, someone did something. I want that someone or those someones to be brought to justice. That's all I care about, right? Well, God will figure the rest out. Let God love them, right? Now, moving forward, this is Matt's stream from last night. Now, this stream was subsequent to, do I have it pulled up? I don't. This was the second of 2 streams last night that he did. The first stream was with Don. Oh, I never actually, hold on. Let's do this really quick. I told you guys I was going to be jumping around.
But I appreciate you clearing it up. He says Hunter said Hunter's kid is going to be
homicide detective was McDonough. He led them through that whole thing, you know. And they were just, you know,
yeah, I can't really take anything that guy has seriously, you know, especially knowing what he did to minors. You know, how I can't.
No, I think he cares about himself.
Of course.
How about Chris McDonough?
Summer Wells.
2 of them.
Yes, you're right. You're
He
absolutely right.
tortured them for days on end.
This little boy admits, I don't believe that, knowing what I know. There's a movie made about this and everything else.
You know, when McDonough called me, he wasn't there to try to help. He was crazy stuff like there was. He had money up, so another calm down for a minute.
So, Mr. Nobody, so fail. I guess Ernie Shell is where Summer is.
He's been doing that a lot lately.
That guy's so spun out. You don't know.
No, stitching. No. I just, when commentary pops up in the discussion area, I certainly don't want creators to think that I subscribe to the ideology. However, I wasn't also trying to throw shade on you. I sort of maybe framed it wrong, and I don't want you to feel like I was, coming after you or chastising you. That certainly was not it. But I do appreciate you reaching out to me, and and I will respond after the stream. So again, no, my aim was not to offend you. If I did offend you, that was not my aim at all. I just was sort of trying to be as political as I could about the whole situation. I didn't, I don't want other creators to maybe watch this and think, oh, well, Benny's just letting anything go on. And I just was trying to equate to everyone, right? That's it. So no harm, no foul. I'm going to go past some of this Ernie Shell content here.
You guys failed your polygraph, blah, blah, blah. They showed it.
Rewind.
Okay.
Yep.
Right here.
Hey, I'm gonna get off here for now, bro. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Hey, I appreciate y'all. God bless.
So this is where Don, in my opinion, abruptly jumps off. Right? There was no taper or dovetailing to his exit. It was like he's there talking, and now all of a sudden, bam, he's got to get off. And the reason is because Rap is emailing or texting or calling or whatever. Okay, stitching. Thank you. I'm glad I didn't, because that was not my aim. Rap, at the behest of Candace, is telling Donald while he's on live, and I'll speak to White Boy privately and see what his opinion of what was the question, or was it just the entirety of Don being there? Something triggered Candace to that's the way it goes. That's the way the information is laid out. Something, or just Don being here, gave are you back here? Okay, you're still here. Gave Rap reason to reach out to Don and say that he's coming after him. Right? We discussed that in the initial parts of all of this. So I don't know the whole ball of wax, but I'm going to look into what it's all about. So Candace has a toy soldier. It's Rap. Bam, moving forward. I think that shows also some of it's an insight. It's a highlight into Candace's character, right? It is what it is. So this, I'm not going to, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and put the link in the discussion area here. if you guys want, Lady May, thank you so much for becoming a member, baby. You know it means the world to me. Who we got here? Miss T, thank you for your contribution, Queen. You know it means the world to me. Thank you. The contributions make the thing go round, right? Like it just does. If you guys want to, after this stream is over with, go on over and listen to White Boy Lockdown Radio. This is the link here. I would tell you that it doesn't really matter which way. Hey, Miss Persevere, thank you for the text. Thank you. It doesn't really matter in which way you listen to it. If you want to hear about the character of Candace and what's going on, listen to the one I just put in the discussion area. That's going to be the go-to. You also could go and listen to the one he did this afternoon, which is just piggybacking on it even more. I think that he said a lot more things that sort of give you that look at her character in terms of Dee Dee's husband, Dee Dee's passing, what she could or couldn't have done, what she has done, so on and so forth. So, sorry, I got a little bit of the heartburn. Let's see here. I wasn't questioning any creators in chat. I was just asking in general, why did many think he would do that? I missed the initial question. I don't know what that is. Okay. So let me see what I got after this. Here we go. There's that. This is the second. I guess I said that I hadn't pulled it up, but there it is. And you can see right here, I asked the question, when did Miss Dee Dee pass? It happened on September 3rd. Noelle was very good friends with Miss Dee Dee, who was also a moderator on both of their channels. So in this, you will get all the information you need to know about Miss Dee Dee's passing and Candace's willful neglect to be helpful, whether it be taking CPR instruction from 911 or even just not calling 911. Right?
Benny.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't know much about this whole situation with the Dee Dee stuff. I only know like what you told me before we went live, like basically like when we watched this really quick together. I didn't hear all of it, obviously. I listened to most. Well, I think I was like plucking my eyebrows and like doing, I don't even know what I was doing, getting dinner ready and all kinds of things. But can you just give a brief synopsis of the whole Dee Dee situation? Because I don't know much about it personally, even myself. So like if you were to just give an overall rundown of what basically he's saying here and what they told you about all of it, like can you just like briefly put it into
I can
just like a quick rundown basically?
I can once Case K, thank you for sending this to me. It was a comment that was initially removed by Casey K, and thank you for we're just, you know, we turned a leaf over here. Here I go saying we. I turned the leaf to
you're not going to include me in turning the leaf?
I turned a leaf.
I don't know what leaf we turned, but or you turned that I did. Okay, so Benny is telling you guys he turned the leaf, but he knows
I turned the leaf.
He must know I haven't turned the leaf.
We didn't turn the leaf. I turned the leaf.
Okay, what is the leaf?
So,
it's something he knows I haven't turned on, clearly, because he was like, I turned the leaf. What is the leaf?
It was a question by Miss Roswell.
Okay.
He said, why did Fred insert himself into Summer's case?
Oh,
Kennedy tells
Roswell.
Ziggy when
Roswell baby? Is that who it is, Benny?
Yeah, I think it used to be Roswell baby.
I
Yes.
would really love to actually, when you're done, to just address her really quick because I saw something last night that and I didn't know she was in here because I wasn't looking at the chat. But when you're done, Roswell, don't leave because I just want to answer something that you had asked last night.
I couldn't ask that or answer that, rather, Roswell. I would say, you know, maybe, you know, take your shot at going around one of Ziggy's live streams when Fred
what
and
was
maybe
her
ask him
question?
yourself. I don't actually know. She said, why did Fred insert himself in Summer's case? Why did he tell Ziggy when she was sneak recording the dog's hit on her scent on his property?
I'm pretty sure that the police went to Fred. Am I
know.
wrong? Did Fred insert himself in Summer's case, or did Hawkins County go to Fred? I believe Fred wore a wire for Summer. I think Hawkins County and TBI wanted Fred involved. I don't think in all fairness, I don't believe Fred inserted himself. I don't know if Benny doesn't want me saying that either, because he's like basically saying we're not going to talk about that, and I'm over here talking.
I can't actually say, like, I probably wouldn't say that Fred inserted himself.
I don't think he did.
I feel like he probably more than anything, and I think that there's two spectrums to it, right? You've got like his life on the hill, his fleshy existence, and then you have his online existence, right? So to sort of cover both of them, my opinion wouldn't be that Fred Hill, and it may not be a popular opinion, but I'm going to give it. My opinion wouldn't be that Fred Hill necessarily inserted himself. It would be more that he probably was dragged here. Now, I'm not here to talk about, I know some people say, well, Fred said this and Fred said that. And in fact, there's a channel called Fred Said. I'm not here to talk about all that. I will say, for who Fred was in the holler, which Fred has taken accountability, in my opinion, about that. I feel like for who Fred was in the holler, for him to even think about wearing a recording device, or however that recording was done, I think for him to even stretch his mind to wear a recording device, I feel like you said, to piggyback on that, I feel like he wore a wire for Summer, right? I hate to say he wore a wire. I know I've said it in the past, but
I think that that's a noble thing to do. He wired up for Summer. That's what I say. Like, that man wore a wire for her, and I don't know anyone else.
You know, for him being,
that.
For
Did
him
Andy
being
do that? Nobody did.
For him
that.
being a guy that was, immersed in not such a savory life, for him to,
right,
for him to wear a wire in that scenario, like, I think that's a valiant effort, right? I you know what I mean? Like, I don't think that him wearing a wire was any sort of leverage for charges that, so you understand, like, the controlled buys with Fred, as I understand the timeline, the controlled buys had already happened. So I don't believe that him wearing a wire was going to get him credit towards getting those charges reduced or whatever. Like, and this is my opinion, right? I just feel like, and of course, I don't know how Fred would have known, distinctly that there had been controlled buys.
Ziggy just answered in the chat.
What'd she say?
And is Roswell baby here? Because I don't see her in the chat. Like, is she here right now? Was that a while back that she left that comment? Ziggy wrote, "Thank you guys. It's true." And there were others asked to record and declined. So I thought that was adorable. I know. I was looking at it, and I thought Nicolina was gonna say. I thought she was gonna.
Nicolina, thank you so much for your contribution, Queen. It means the world to us.
I thought she was gonna say that Fred absolutely inserted himself in the case, and then I saw she said Fred definitely inserted himself in Ziggy. That was adorable.
Girl, you made my face red.
Why can't I see
You're
her?
welcome,
That's
Roswell.
so weird. So Roswell, I guess you have me blocked or something, but can I just really quick, I just want to say something. Like, give me 2 minutes to address something that she had said last night, Roswell did, because I had seen the comment and I wish I had taken a screenshot about it. Oh, sorry, Benny. Benny's having. Hold on. Go. I'm like.
I'm just feeling silly.
So, no, go ahead. I want to
No,
interrupt.
you got it.
You're
Go ahead.
laughing.
Go ahead. Do it.
No,
Do it.
it's okay. So, no, go ahead, Benny, because I'm actually gonna find the comment so I can actually like really address the comment because okay.
Woo, shit.
I think that was, I mean, honestly, who who has truly helped Summer from around there? I mean, would Jody wear a wire for Summer? Would Andy Bernard wear a wire for Summer?
No, none of them.
I
did,
think the
right?
fact Fred did that says a whole lot about.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and
Hands down.
how could you not think that speaks volumes to whatever he was doing, he was trying to help. That's a noble thing to do. I mean,
Okay, way after. I was mistaken. So what I had said was I thought the timeline was that the control buys from Fred happened previous to Summer Gone Missing, but actually it was November, so it would have been, in that fall, right? It'd have been 5 months later or whatever. 2021 was the date of Fred's control buys, and then the second one is in February, way after Fred recorded for the police. So you have to think about it. Fred being involved in the sales of narcotics at that time, for him to wear a wire actually could have put him in danger, right? I think that's a safe way to frame that, because I believe that to be true, right? Like if anyone would have known, and we know there's a lot of backwoods politics going on with the police and things there, it wouldn't have been out of left field for, someone that knew Fred had cooperated with them to maybe spin that in a way and tell someone else that's, active in the same lifestyle, like, hey, Fred's a snitch. Well, that's not actually, I could tell you now that people in the life, right? And I hope you know what I mean. People in the life wouldn't look at that as snitching, right? Snitching is you're involved in a crime with someone and you cooperate with law enforcement in order to get your time minimized, right? It'd be no different than that action is in the same aura of beating up a sex offender in jail, right? It's that same aura. You're doing something to help a child that's endangered, right? So that's my opinion. You don't have to subscribe or equate to that. It's my opinion. I feel like it's a valiant thing. Does that mean that I agree with everything that's, all the media about Fred? No, it doesn't. We're talking about this specifically. So, no, you're okay.
I found it.
I just feel like that's my take on it, right?
Yeah.
So, there's that.
So interestingly, I found something else while I was looking for this too that just popped up 11 minutes ago.
No, Roswell, it's okay. We're going to address it and get it out of the way, and then we'll move forward. We're almost done here anyways.
What did she say?
She didn't mean to disrupt the live.
Oh,
Won't question
I don't think she disrupted the live.
It's okay.
I mean, as long as Benny doesn't think it's not my stream. I don't want to say I'm speaking for him over here, but so I actually feel bad though, because I don't want to address something that has to do with me on your live stream when it's about other stuff either, Benny. So I just want to get your permission, because I want to say two things and it might take me a few minutes to say what I need to. So when I went over just now to find Roswell Baby's comment, and I couldn't see it because I am blocked for some reason, but I did answer her last night. I don't know if that is new, that she just blocked me momentarily or whatever, but that's okay. But while I was going over to find the comment so that I could answer her in person, because why not, I just found, and I guess I should say that this has nothing to do with Benny. This is only just coming from me. He doesn't even know what I'm about to say.
I have no idea.
He got the thumbs up I don't know what the hell she's about to say. So I just went over to Chasing's live stream from last night because she had done a live, and it was actually, she was pretty worked up about the things that had been going on the last couple of days. I won't get into that right now. But at the end of the live stream, Chasing had done a really beautiful thing, and she had played a a wonderful Christian song, and she had sent enormous amounts of prayers for my son, and her chat was, I mean, like, honest to God, the outpouring of love that I saw come from Chasing Truth's chat was beyond. I even texted Benny when it was over, and
You did.
it meant so much to me, honestly, like really meant so
Thank you
much
for
to
that, Miss
me.
Tracy.
Yeah, I mean, we started in this community, and this is about Ryan Finds Truth, because I just saw something he wrote over there. Ryan Finds Truth is being very nasty about my son, and I don't know why. I would never wish ill on his children or his family, or, find out that someone had stage 4 cancer and bask in the glory of that, like he's doing with my son. And I find it to be absolutely despicable. And you have to really be a special kind of evil to do such a thing. But he left chasing a comment I just saw when I went over to see. I was just going to look for Roswell's comment, and I see Ryan Finds Truth, and he wrote to Chasing, didn't TM say that you were part of a pedo ring, right? Now everybody knows that that's not true. I never said that. The stream that all of that actually started on was on Benny's channel. It was me, Benny, and Carl was talking about a guy, I don't remember his name, Benny, was some guy I never heard of before. I never even knew he existed. Anyways, Carl, for those that don't know, is like Enchanted Life Path. So he had found a guy, don't remember his name, and I think he found like someone Chasing knew who the guy was, and he was talking about it. It turned into people saying that Benny and I had accused her of being part of this ring to do with, child abuse of the worst kind. Huh?
Timothy.
Oh, yes, Timothy Homestaff. Thank you. Yep, that was the name. No clue who the guy is. Anyways.
Beautiful mind.
So Ryan Finds Truth wasn't even in this community when that happened. No one had ever even heard his name, and he's angry that Chasing did what she did for my son last night. I've known Chasing Truth since 2019 when she found me over in the drama community. We have history, Ryan Finds Truth. And
it's so easy with the other creator talking in the discussion area, y'all.
What is it?
No, go ahead. You got it. They heard me.
Okay. I have no clue. I was looking.
This isn't like, no, I'm sorry. And I'm sorry to interrupt. Just let me say real quick. Yeah. Let's just hold back on, giving our opinions about other content creators, because that's not why we're here. And that's how, we could get into trouble. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm giving Tiffany a platform to discuss her concern. However, anybody else, like, let's just, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I'm not trying to cause a ruckus here, but in all fairness, I mean, I don't think people would take well to Ryan doing the things he's doing to David, but I mean, I guess I probably should have known anyhow that people would have a reaction to that. I mean, I have a reaction to that, but he's over there trying to stir the pot because somebody prayed for my son last night and played a beautiful song for him. And I really do want people to know that that is an evil person. That is not someone who walks with God. That is not someone who believes in the Holy Spirit. That is not someone who should probably ever be around children. Happiness over a child with cancer is scary. That's scary stuff. So anyhow, nothing about that man is normal. I think he's troubled. I think he has a lot of problems. And I think that there are things we probably don't know about him. I remember back to when Benny and I had covered him long ago, and he had said that he was going to come by my house with a flamethrower. These are all things that happened a long time ago. You know, like this was a long time ago. I have not talked about this guy. Suddenly he emerged when Justin had written about my son and made a beautiful post for him. And out of 334 comments, Ryan Finds Truth was the only person who wrote something despicable. And that says everything about him and nothing about me.
Hey, Nana.
And no, I can't even wrap my mind around that. I don't understand it, and I don't know why anybody would be happy that a 20-year-old is battling what my son is. But I will say nobody is immune to this, and no child is immune to this. And I know that because it's happening to mine. No adult is immune to cancer. Everybody at some point is going to know somebody in their life or someone they love that is going to be touched by this awful, horrible, this god awful disease. I wouldn't wish it on anybody, not even Ryan with the things that he is doing in my son's name. And I just wanted to say that because I actually didn't expect to see that in front of my face. He's literally like right there when I went to, well, I was going to answer Roswell baby, and I saw that. So stirring the pot, you will not. Ryan Finds Truth. Nobody ever said that about Chasing. Chasing has actually spoken on this multiple times. We talked about that on a live stream, got over it. It was over. It was a wrap. It was a done deal a long time ago. And she said prayers for my son, and her entire chat did as well. And it was a beautiful moment. And you will not steal that from me, and you will not steal that from my son. You will not take away any of the goodness that came his way last night. Love and faith over fear, and evil will never win. Never. Love wins always.
Yeah, and I think that let me piggyback just real quick. I think that,
Mhm.
and I think it's important to say this, right? It's like in our real lives, we will accept the apology of someone who has done the dirtiest stuff to us, right?
Yeah.
Whether it's friends, family, strangers, but this internet comes with it comes with a certain evil where
I don't even know this person. I don't even know this guy.
It comes with a particular evil where if someone like, so I've made amends with Ryan, right? I said some things to Ryan that I probably shouldn't have, and I think that he apologized to me as well for saying things maybe he thought in the context of his
You
own.
made amends with him, and this is what he's doing now.
But right,
that's astounding. Like,
I
what
understand.
the hell?
But
why would he do that?
I understand.
Holy
I do.
Shit.
But I think in addition to that, I think that the internet comes with its own set of difficulties when there's an issue with someone. You get the flood of people that maybe don't like that person. And then you have people that are undecided. But then when you make amends with someone that you had an issue with before, the internet wants you to stand on that initial thing where you're like, I don't like that person. But then, like,
well, that's the thing. He wasn't even around back then.
No, I don't mean this isn't specific to Ryan. It in general, right? Like, for instance, me and Matt, right? Like, people are like, oh, white boy doesn't like you, or you didn't like white boy, or whatever it was. Like, now that, as adults, we can make amends. This doesn't have anything to do with Ryan.
Okay, I thought you meant that, because I'm like, he wasn't even here. He wasn't even in our community. Why is he even bringing this up?
What I will say about the situation with Ryan is that I pray that God will soften his heart about anything that any of us said to one another at some point in time, and that we can all collectively, at the very least, stay out of each other's way.
Well, I will say Benny is a far better person than I and Ryan. I'll tell you right now, you're going to regret all the things you're doing. And that's all I'm going to say right here. But I promise you won't even know it's coming. And it could be in 10 years from now. But I promise you, you'll never get away with treating my son the way that you have. Whether or not Benny has a good heart, I have a wonderful heart, but not like that. Now, when it comes to my son, my child, over my dead body, are you going to run around this community and mock my child with cancer? Okay. You want to talk about fucking flamethrowers? Okay. You have threatened me in the past for absolutely no reason because Benny and I reacted to your weirdo streams and your sorcery psychic videos with your wife. I really don't get involved with people that go way overboard like that. Okay. I don't mind a little bit of this, a little bit of that. These are different type of people. They're involved in some really dark stuff. And Benny is very protected by the grace of God. He doesn't fuck with people like that either. But I'll tell you what, you could do all the sorcery you want.
Beverly.
It's not gonna affect me.
David,
Because I will come for that. I will come for this man, and I will absolutely make his life hell. If he continues on about my son, he's going to wish he never fucking came to this community. That's what I have to say. And that is a promise. Don't ever, ever mess with a mother who is fighting for her child to live. It'll be the biggest mistake you ever make.
I will say, my comment to Ryan would be, Ryan, I know this boy personally. I've known him for some years. And in fact, I just spoke to the boy before coming on here, and I can tell you that the young man is definitely, he's fighting, he's navigating and fighting his way through a scenario that, and in a fashion that we could only hope to never have to face, but he's doing it in such a way that is like magical, right? Like,
he is magical. Ryan could
only,
never do what my son's doing. Ryan, if this happened to you, you could never hold a candle to my son, ever. You wouldn't even know what to do with yourself. But my son has more integrity and more dignity in his pinky toe than you do. And you're a grown ass man. You're sick. Picking on a 20-year-old kid with cancer. That's who this person is.
yeah, I would just, and Tiffany knows, like I'm a proponent for praying for, praying for people in situations that a lot of people wouldn't pray for. And not saying that Ryan would ever want me to pray for him, but I'm a pray.
He's going to need the prayers, Benny. So you go right ahead and pray for him. But I don't know if your prayers are strong enough to help him with this. I will say that. Ryan, you're really lucky to get a prayer from Benny because you're going to need him. You're going to need him.
I just, I know, all I could say is I know that I spoke on his grown daughters and whatever.
Oh God, don't even, you did nothing to those girls. He used them and brought them, he was using his own daughters and using them as pawns, and you didn't even do anything to them. All you did was you said, don't get involved with what your dad's doing. He used them as a weapon against you, and you didn't even say anything. There was nothing you even said that was out of line to those girls. That you have nothing to apologize. This guy is like acting like somebody has really done something to him. If that's what he's looking for, I can make it happen. Like, you want something to bitch about, Ryan, I will give you something to fucking bitch about. Okay? Benny, you didn't do anything to those girls. He brought those girls on YouTube and used them like they were some kind of, I don't know, some kind of prop in his weirdo YouTube games. Like, I don't know what that guy is like, acting like you've done something to his kids. You never did anything to them. why he ever brought them on YouTube. I don't even know. Those are young girls. He brought them on to fight with a grown man, and Benny did not fight with those girls at all.
Well, you know,
What dad does that to their young daughters? A father bringing their young daughters on to fight with a man? Something is wrong there. That
no,
is
Cynthia, I wouldn't gloat if anyone's
strange.
child was sick at all. And I think that's,
No.
you know, independent thinker. Thank you so much for becoming a member, baby. You know, it means the world to us. You understand me? You dig? You know, I definitely want to give anyone a platform to discuss, you know, I guess things of this nature. And I hope that I truly, you know, what I would want for Tiffany is I would want a forum with Ryan where, you know, where I guess where Ryan could, you know, if you want to be mad at somebody, maybe, you know, be mad at Tiffany.
He can be mad at me any day of the week, but over my dead body, he's going to start attacking my son on the daily. And I don't know what he's trying to do with Chasing Truth, because she offered prayers to my son last night and made a beautiful ending to her stream for a child. What is wrong with that guy? She didn't do anything wrong. He's trying to make her feel like she did something wrong for praying for my son. That is sick. I mean, I just don't, I can't even wrap my head around that. What? And you know what? I have to thank Roswell baby for coming in here, because I was like, let me go. I wanted to read her comments so that I could explain to her. And that's what I saw. So thank you for coming in here, Roswell baby, so I could see what I just did.
Say, and me thinking, Roswell's in trouble.
No,
I thought she was in trouble.
it wasn't even. I wanted to make sure that I answered her and that she knew. And I'm like, I can't see her. I don't know if it's me that has her blocked, because I answered her on a different account from a long time ago. It could totally be. I answered on my Tiffany Marie XOXO account when I answered her. She had asked a question about Ziggy, and I wanted to explain to her, because she was wondering, you know, when Ziggy and I had made amends. And Ziggy and I had made amends probably, I would say, almost 2 years ago. And I don't think Roswell baby knew that. And I'm not mad at her at all. I was going to address what she had written to me, because she seemed to be struggling with, like, my decisions and, you know, my relationship with Ziggy. Like, I guess when I went up on Ziggy's panel yesterday, she felt a certain way about it. So I was going to talk to Roswell baby about it like that. What she had said, I was just going to talk to her about it up here. I wasn't upset with her at all. She wasn't in trouble. I will tell you, Roswell baby, I don't have any problems with her at all.
She's been a good egg. Roswell's always been a good egg. I can say that.
You know, I don't have any problems with Roswell baby at all. I have a problem with a grown man who's like, 50 something years old, who will not leave my son alone. And I think something absolutely needs to be done about it. And I'm not going to stand for it. But Roswell baby, I will say, if you ever want to email me, I don't mind talking to you. I don't want to take up any more time, because I just spent 10 minutes of Benny's stream up here having to address a big oafy fucking 6 foot tall ballerina that prances through the woods of Hawkins County like he's, I don't know, sugar gliding or something. This is a grown ass man, 300 pounds and 6'5", picking on a 20-year-old kid with cancer. I mean, that's my issue right now. I don't have any issues with Roswell baby at all.
Casey K, thank you so much for your contribution, Queen. You know it means the world to me.
She wants my email. Yeah, I can drop my email. Oh, Casey, you can drop my email in the chat if you want to. Why would anybody have a problem with David? Paul Auer, he doesn't have a problem with David. He has a problem with me, but he's using David as a weapon. It's disgusting, and I'm going to handle him. Ryan doesn't know me, actually. He has no idea. I'm a crazy bitch, Ryan. You don't even fucking know. You don't know me, and I really don't think you want to, but you're about to.
Thank you, doll.
You could ask Benny about it. He'll tell you.
Say, man.
Say.
Ryan, you don't, hey, say, man, being on the wrong side of this one, you asking for it, buddy. I can't protect you after she cuts loose. You're on your own, buddy.
He's on his own, that's for sure. Ain't nothing Benny's gonna be able to do to help you. I promise you that.
Ain't nothing I can do. I can't stop her. You understand me? So I guess that's you good. You good, Tiff?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good, Benny.
Okay.
Casey, definitely drop my email to Roswell, baby. She can email me anytime. That's what I wanted to make sure that when I saw she was in here, I was like, let me talk to her right now, because I don't usually see her around all that much, because I'm not really in chats a lot. I'm like over here, and I've been on Ziggy's and Benny's. That's it. I haven't been anywhere else, so I don't really get to frequent chats and see people a lot. Casey has my email.
Well, I think that there has been an absolute wealth of information here, and I hope that everyone that watches the replay is capable of keeping up with the chaos that in chaotic way rather that I put this together. I just think that there's so much that's been out there for so long, and that when we had the flood of informations at the time, there's just a lot of things we may have missed, and
I couldn't believe when you played that for me today. And I'm like, holy shit, I feel like I'm hearing this for the first time in my life. And I really was. I never heard Don say that.
Me either. R says, hey,
wow.
Tien, when Emma released the text from Grandma, Don walked in and said she told everything. C said she wouldn't have done that. Do you remember? I don't
Emma
remember.
Released.
Thank you, Cerise. R&R, if you could give me a link of some sort in reference to this comment, that would be great. I'm going to put my comment in the discussion area right now.
I don't think I remember that. I remember when Don and Candace were sitting in the backyard and they did the interview, and Don said to Candace something to the effect of, your mom's sitting right there, or something. Or
and I spelled it
your
wrong.
mom's right there, maybe something, but I don't remember that.
Part. Yeah.
You remember that, Benny?
But it's a little bit different context than what R is saying here. So
yeah, that's what I'm asking you. Do you remember what this person? I don't.
I would like to be familiar.
Where did that happen at? Did they?
And thank you. We're gonna find out. We're gonna find out. Candace's shirt was inside out when she did it. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Interesting. I don't know. Listen, I know Summer's case, like the back of my eyelids, day 1, minute 1. I don't recall that. Does anyone in the chat, maybe?
Dragonfly thinks that that's when Rosemary was brought up.
Oh, Rosemary Bly. Okay.
Zero. Lisa, if you have a link, I know you have my email. If you have a link to that, could you send me something, and it'll be a great bone to pick later on, I guess. In another stream. Yeah, because we're at the 2:35 mark, and I think that I don't have anything else after this lined up. So, Tiffany, are you satisfied with everything? Do you have any comments, questions, concerns, burning desires?
Oh no, but after when this is over, I never did get that 309. It's on my channel. It's called Forget Everything You Know About 309. And that was when I spoke with Ansley Daniel way back about the photo of Summer in the back seat of Candace Harrer's truck. I'll give that to Benny. Maybe he can put it in the description or in the comments or something of this video.
Okay. I do want to tell you right now, y'all be on the lookout here in the next couple of weeks. That bad little puppy we about to get, she's gonna have a channel, and we are gonna document all the puppiness. So you're welcome, Brooke. All of the puppiness is gonna be available for you to see. So when I put it out, y'all make sure you look at them videos of that little wild puppy. You hear me? So
I can't wait till it comes to your house.
me too. Like me and my mom and dad, we all need the
You're gonna
emotional
sing?
support
Are you
animal.
gonna sing Gloria to the puppy?
I think the name may have changed.
No, is it really? What are you changing it to?
Well, my dad, he's always loved it's a Katharine Hepburn, Humphrey Bogart film called African Queen.
I know exactly the film. I'm into all those movies.
Her name is Rosie.
Mhm.
Katharine Hepburn's name is Rosie in that movie.
Are you gonna
Rosie.
name the dog Rosie? That is so precious. I like it even better than Glory.
I think her name's gonna be Rosie.
I like Rosie. I like Rosie better. That's a good pick.
Yes, I think that's gonna be the name. So
Rosie's a perfect pick for that dog.
I believe she will lean right into that name.
Well, you guys are gonna lean right into her after losing Sissy, and I felt so bad when Sissy died, and then Cole, and I'm so glad you're gonna be able to bring a puppy back around and have that love again, because you guys deserve to have that. And oh my gosh, she's gonna bring so much love into your life. There's nothing like having a puppy in the house.
Oh no.
And of course she'll never replace them, you know, but it's gonna be a new beginning.
Yes. Somebody asked what kind of puppy. This one right here.
She's literally precious. She's too little to even take from her mom yet.
Yep. Wednesday will be the day. She's fully weaned, and he's got 10 of them. So he is ready to lighten his load. Let's say.
Oh, there's 10 of them. Oh,
3 boys.
Then you should take 2.
Oh God.
That's what I did with Kukla and Mufasa. I took them both together. I didn't want to separate them. I was like, I don't want to just take one. I want to take 2 so that they can be together forever. And then Mufasa died when he was 6. He had something wrong with his kidney, and ended up having to put him down. So, but I swear Kukla never even missed him. It was crazy. Yeah. She loves having this house to herself, like queen.
She's such a little stinker.
I know she is. Oh my God.
Yeah,
she is a handful.
We all need a friend. That's right. And I tell you what, just, I get the idea of emotional support animals, right? Like I understand that whole ideology. Such a huge support. And this one here is just she has a huge personality, and she is Nana. We had 2 that were litter mates, Colt and Maxine, Sissy, and they were so they were, I guess you could say, codependent in the dog world. Like we put her down July 27th, and then he made it till he didn't make it 6 weeks. Like he didn't make it without her. So
I had a feeling that it was going to be so hard for him to be without her.
Oh man, it was murder. It was murder.
I imagine it was, because they did everything together and they were with each other all day, every day. So like when you separate them, that's so hard for animals. They take it so hard. I think they're even more so in tune than we are as humans. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Yeah. They know. Well, before we conclude this demonstration, I want to thank Hair Curlers for becoming a member. I want to thank Miss De Winter for becoming a member. I want to thank Nicolina for her contribution. I want to thank Woman of Steel for becoming a member. Casey K, you understand me, for her contribution. Another one from Casey, Lady May, for becoming a member. Miss Stevens, I don't think that I saw that one, but thank you so much for your contribution, Queen. You know it means the world to us. Where we at here? And then Miss Stevens for becoming a member as well. You're a real heavy hitter. Miss T for her contribution. Thank you. And Miss T is always good for sharing my videos, and like Miss T is a real one. Nicolina for another contribution. Thank you so much. We got Indy. Indy been around for a long time. Thank you for becoming a member. And then Casey K with another contribution.
I'm so glad Indy got in, because Indy couldn't get in here before, so you got her.
Yeah, there's there's just a lot of glitchy stuff going on.
I know it.
Nicolina couldn't be seen on her main channel, and I didn't know that it was a thing, but Cheesecake was like, go over
I think
there.
the same thing happened with Indy that happened with Nicolina, because I remember
Had to
Nicolina
be.
was like, can you unblock me? And I'm like, Benny can't find you anywhere. Like, and then the same thing happened with Indy too. I think it is YouTube.
I had to go over and block her and then unblock her, and that it released it. So
I've had to put people as mods in my chat in order to get them unblocked from my channel before. Throw them a wrench and then take the wrench and it fixes everything too. That's another way. Like, I don't know if other creators ever have trouble. Just throw people a wrench, grab the wrench, and they're unblocked. Like, everything's good. It fixes it right away. You just grab their channel link, stick it in your moderator section in your YouTube studio, and you're good to go.
Perfect. Well, anything in closing?
Other than the fact that Ryan's done for, nope. Not a damn thing.
Do we want to do what we all can do as content creators?
Of course.
I'll have you do it. Go ahead.
Summer Wells went missing from her home in the 100 block of Ben Hill Road in Rogersville, Tennessee, in Hawkins County, June 15th, 2021. She was 5 years old when she went missing. If you have any information about Summer or her whereabouts, credible tips, please call 1-800-TBI-FIND or Hawkins County Sheriff's Office. She was last seen allegedly walking away from her home wearing a pink shirt and gray pants, possibly barefoot.
Thank you so much.
Of course.
Again, I want to thank everyone for coming, and everybody being super professional. That's the key. That's how.
Except for me, I can't. I'm so sorry. I just can't do it sometimes. Hey, sometimes there's just things you gotta. I can't make promises like that. Not with that kind of stuff. I'm so sorry, Benny.
No, don't be sorry. It is what it is. Lady May, yeah, you have been around for a long time, and I sure appreciate you, Queen. Well, I guess on the way out, we will go ahead and we'll wrap it up. Thank you again, everybody. You can be probably looking out for another stream here this upcoming week. I do appreciate it all again. Thank you so much. How are you, sir?
Hanging in there, just praying for my daughter, bud.
To go ahead and bring Mr. Wells on.
Oh, that was a good one. That was my whole life, was coming home to my kids. Prayers for Summer, prayers for everybody. God bless you, God.
Oh, before I leave, thank you, Randaroo, so much for your contribution, Queen. You know it means the world to me. Thank you so much. Everybody have a blessed night. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. We'll see you next week.